Well, I'll get the music ready.
Lovely. Yeah, I'm ready when you guys are.
I'm ready.
You ready, Fernando?
Yes, I am.
Excellent.
Skipping the old ads.
Good choice.
Here we go. God, I've gotten so good at that.
Yeah. You almost never cut it off halfway through anymore. I'm
I
still
know.
always wondering whether you're going to play the 2 bars or just the 1 bar.
Yeah.
But that's going well.
Is that the sort of thing you can put on a CV? Like, I'm really good at stopping this one YouTube clip at exactly the right moment.
It's on my CV already, so
Oh, okay.
yeah.
That was a bit premature, wasn't it? It's,
Yeah. Well, I just updated it today, so.
perfect.
Yeah.
Because that was the first time you did it right. Sorry. Fernando,
Yes.
you chose the film this time.
I chose the Speed Cubers.
The Speed Cubers.
Yes.
Where did you hear about that?
Well, I was browsing on Netflix, and that was one of the suggestions.
Yep.
It looked like something I would be interested in watching, but not necessarily would unless I forced myself to watch it. And I knew that if I chose it for a film club, then I would definitely force myself to watch it. It was also a very short film, which I think now holds the record for the shortest movie that we've watched here.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought we've watched some very long movies. Maybe it's just the turn for a very short movie to be watched.
Yeah. It'll go some way to cancel out Lagan and The Irishman, right?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And did you enjoy the film in the end?
I did like it. I guess, I did for several reasons. I enjoyed the human aspect of it, and I also enjoyed, as I always do, learning new things about life.
Great. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Laura, what did you think?
I think, God, you've done it again, Fernando. One of my new favourite. Guck. Oh,
Whoa.
I finished it quite recently. I've just couldn't stop crying. Had to get myself together for this meeting.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, it was great.
Good kind of crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I'm so distraught that neither of them won the World's Championship.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that coming.
I certainly didn't.
I didn't see that coming either.
Who the
twist
fuck
in the
is
tail.
Philip?
I don't even want to know who Philip is.
This piece of shit asshole. Just walking in here. Thinks he owns the 3x3.
Well, he didn't get the record.
No.
He's won the
Yeah.
battle, but he hasn't won the war.
Yeah. What about you guys? What do you think?
Claire?
I thought it was lovely. They're just nice, and people were trying and being nice to each other. It was just delightful. I
Michael?
didn't cry.
Oh.
But,
Oh, well, that's your cold robot heart.
yeah.
I loved it. I thought this was a great film, and thank you for picking it, Fernando.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I loved it partly because it was so touching and so sweet, just the human story of it. But also it had a lot to say. It was a real insight into one example of the sort of weird, nerdy subcultures that arise.
Yeah.
Where people, which I've just dipped into a few times in my life, where people are so into like whatever the thing is, and there's like a whole world that is just people who love doing this one thing, and sometimes it can go so wrong, but this was an example where it went so right, and I really liked that. I had a lot of thoughts about that. I really liked it.
Oh,
Told a great story as well.
it did.
I wonder if that concept taken to the extreme takes us to us having a department of mathematics in this university.
What do
That's
you
the
mean?
sort of ultimate nerdy, inwards-looking community.
It's just a community of nerds doing mathematics that got together and did it for so long that they decided to found a university, a department in a university.
And that's how university started, wasn't it? It was just
I guess that is how the university started. Yes, they were like, "Oh, let's think about divinity so much that we'll create a institution where we talk about it all the time."
just Bible nerds. That's all it was.
Oh God, I think there's more in that than we think, right? Like, it sounds like you're joking, but I think that's not far from true.
Yeah, there's no. The only thing that we need to add is the permission of the Pope, which was granted eventually. But yes,
The root of addiction is before. So the very first root, I think, was as a slave or in debt or something, but then it changed gradually to mean devotion. So it didn't mean any of our modern connotations. It just meant to be so devoted to something that the rest of your life was kind of degraded. But it was held up as a sort of scholarship, academia, things like that. It would say you have an addiction.
Wow.
Oh, like we'd have a calling or something, or a vocation or something now.
Yeah.
But
where it would just mean like you'd lose yourself, but it would be kind of looked up to and rewarded, but got these sacrifices. So these Rubik's Cubers better watch themselves.
Yeah, it really is an addiction. Well, they used that word addiction a few times, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
I used it in the modern sense, but that's quite interesting that we've got this link to the original sense.
Yeah. Maybe I want to play with Rubik's Cubes now, although it would depress me because I've never solved a Rubik's Cube and I never will because I don't have that kind of brain.
Well, you can look up how to do it, and it's pretty easy to learn the algorithms you need to do it. I tried to solve one. I think, Claire, you've solved one, haven't you?
Yeah, I think I got lucky. Like, since then, I've not been able to repeat it. Like, I can do it using the algorithm, but yeah. I think you have to do it twice to actually have done it.
Sounds fair. But I tried doing it with reasoning alone, and I could get the one layer and then make a start on the second layer, but didn't really get far. And the third layer was asked the question. But I looked up the algorithms, that a set of basic algorithms that you need to do it, and I learned them. And I can do one now. It takes me a few minutes, but it's kind of soothing. It is kind of addictive as well. You grab it and you see it moving in your hands, and you do most of it with muscle memory after you've done it for a while, and it's kind of fun. And I did go through a little phase of competing with my brother to see who could do it fastest, and our records were like a minute and 20 seconds, something like that, and I was usually averaging a bit under 2 minutes.
Well, is it?
It's definitely not. It's not 6 seconds, is it? But yeah, I was pretty pleased with myself. It was a fun thing to do, and it looked cool to do it as well. Well, I don't know about cool, but there's something impressive about seeing someone moving it so quickly, and it looks like it's complete madness, but actually it's a bit like writing a word. You don't think about all of the curves and dots and everything. You just sort of write the word and your brain does it automatically. So yeah, it was nice for that.
If you really want to do one, Laura, there are like magician's Rubik's Cubes you can buy that have like elastic bands inside, and you just shake it and it goes back to the original.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
That sounds good.
They do it
But no,
in
if you
seconds. 1 or 2
Maybe
seconds.
they all just had. I wonder if anyone's told the World Championships about this.
yeah, the whole thing's just a lie.
They should be aware of this.
They should be, shouldn't?
Yeah.
But no, if you got one and looked up how to do it, it'd probably take you a couple of hours to learn to do it properly.
Oh, interesting. Maybe
But pretty easy to learn to do it.
I did like that we. Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
I like that we got to see so much of the cubing. It's weird how interested you become in the cubing after like 5 minutes, and you're like, "Well, I want to see them solve it." Obviously, again and again and again. Show me 12 people in a row solving these cubes.
And there was a lot of footage of people solving Rubik's cubes, wasn't there?
A lot of audio
Of
of Rubik's cubes moving. That is,
yes.
Just that noise that's very specific to a Rubik's cube being spun haunted my dreams.
Oh God. Yeah. What else did we like about it? Michael, you said you had some thoughts about the subculture, I should say, not the subterranean world of Rubik's Cube.
With the lizards that get drowned in fake lava and a whole ocean that came from the sky.
Journey to the centre of the Rubik's Cube.
You see these things, and I think a long time ago it was a lot more, or even 30 years ago, it was a lot more difficult for these societies to exist. Because if you were really into solving Rubik's cubes or knitting or whatever, or like ironing on the ceiling or whatever weird stuff people are into, normally, like, nobody else in your village would be into that. But you can guarantee that in the entire world, there's a couple of hundred other people who are really into it. And now these people can find each other and they can book out a lecture theatre and do this. And it's great whenever you see one of these things. There will be not only a load of people who are into it, but some people who are super into it and are better than everyone else that people look up to. And there'll be different schools of thought where one group of people hates the other group of people over this one little thing. And there'll be controversies, and there'll be this thing that happened in 1995 that no one's forgotten about. And I love just seeing a little bit into this, into these worlds. What was it I was looking up? Bar billiards. Have you ever heard of bar billiards?
No.
Fernando, have you heard of bar billiards?
Bar billiards? No.
No. So it's this game that they used to have in pubs in like the 1920s, and since then it's gone away a bit more and a bit more, and now there are like 50 pubs in the whole of the UK that have a bar billiards table, and some of them are inoperable, but there are a few regions where it's a bit more popular. And I wanted to find out if there are any near me, and so I went onto the website of the UK Bar Billiards Association, and it's like 100 people who are really into bar billiards, this game no one else has heard of. And I looked into it, and they said, oh, we have this map showing all the bar billiards tables in the UK, but like the map's 10 years out of date, but it's okay because Paul keeps an up-to-date list, and you can go to Paul's website and he's got this. But then there's somebody else on the forum saying, oh, Paul's list isn't quite there. And actually there's this one place with a bar billiards table, but that doesn't count because it's not a tournament standard. And then you look and they've got all of these smaller leagues. There's like a Buckinghamshire league with 12 people in it. And all of this, you can see it. And you can look on this website and it's people saying, make sure you meet us at the King's Head on Thursday, where we've got a new member joining us. And don't forget that Adam, who's been part of the club for 40 years, is retiring next month, and we're all going to his house for a barbecue. Just being able to get this insight into these worlds is just fantastic, and it's always interested me. Yeah,
it's fascinating.
I mean, there must be a social anthropology study in here somewhere. In fact, one that I would definitely. I think if I was going to study social anthropology, the one thing that I would look into is Worms Armageddon.
Oh,
have you heard of the video game Worms?
No.
So it's a fun little video game. I used to play it when I was a teenager. It's a little, I guess, tactical strategic combat game where you have little guys that are worms, and they walk around and they throw banana bombs at each other and stuff. It's a cartoony little game, and it was quite popular at the time. And since then, the last good game in the series came out in 1999, and it's gone into obscurity. But someone at the company decided to leave the servers running, and they've never taken it down. And there's this hardcore community of people who are still playing it. It's 20 years later. And you can see it's this shattered community that used to be a lot bigger when this was a popular game. And now there are 20 people who regularly play, and they hate each other. It's crazy. I was looking at the biggest tournament is this one that happens every year. And there are 2 or 3 different tournaments that happen on different websites because there used to be bigger communities, and now it's just all the same people on all 3 websites, but they've just never got around to combining everything. It's about 20, 30 people play in the big tournament, and anybody's allowed to join. So this is how many people are still interested. But then after the matches, there are these people arguing and bitching at each other and saying well, obviously that was a really cheap tactic that you used at the start there, resetting the game because you didn't like the look of the map. And they said, well, it was nothing to do with the look of the map. And you'd know that if you'd remembered from 2 years ago when I kicked your ass. So 2 years ago, you never kicked my ass. That was fake as well. And I've come on a long way since there. I've got a job and you haven't got a job. You're just some kid. Well, I'm 32 actually. And just, it was incredible watching these arguments and just so much vitriol. And I was thinking how are you, why are you still part of this community when you're obviously having such a bad time? But there's something holding them together. There's something keeping these. There are so many other games they could be playing, but something is keeping them all playing that, and I don't know what that is. Whenever I think about these little things, this is a wild tangent way off Rubik's Cubes, but you saw that again, this whole them saying, obviously the 3x3 is the most important one. And that's arbitrary, but that everybody agrees the 3x3 is the most important one. And that the number of little terms that they were using that are completely specific to this community, I'm going to get a sub-6 average. If you just heard someone saying that on the street, it would mean nothing. But somehow these communities develop these little terms. And sometimes if you aren't part of that community, you have no idea what they're talking about half the time. And I mean, they never really explained what getting an average was. That they talked about getting an average, that there was an average event and a singles event. And they never quite went into that. And why do you have the 2 categories? What's the advantage of one over the other? Brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
So it was all of these thoughts that were one half of why I enjoyed this so much.
If we had to pick something to become obsessively involved in that was a weird subculture that no one else had ever heard of, what do you think you would pick?
I think Michael's got a lot of options here.
Or are you already involved in one?
I wish I was. I wish I had an enemy that I could just bicker with over 20 years about.
Yeah. Well, there's something kind of appealing about it, isn't there?
An arch nemesis.
Yeah, what would it be? I guess, a minority sport or game. So we have a mutual friend who, of course, is very into korfball.
Oh, yes.
A sport most people have never heard of and don't care about. But again, you get insights into the way he lives in that community, and that there'll always be some little argument about, so-and-so wasn't refereeing properly that night, and this team is going to walk from the league, and they say it as if it's like Manchester United leaving the Premiership, but it's like so-and-so from around the corner who could barely get 6 players together for a match each Sunday. And they decided they're going to walk from the league, even though then they just have to stop playing because they don't like that Linda decided to introduce some rules banning sausage rolls at the barbecue afterwards or whatever. And it wasn't quite that, but we've heard him talk about stuff like that. And so, I guess a minority sport would be a good place to start. Wouldn't
sort
it?
of foot golf society.
Oh, do you know, that's a pretty good example.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you look on the foot golf, so if anyone doesn't know what foot golf is, this is where you like play on a golf course, but instead of a golf ball and a club, you have a football and you just kick it with your boot. And there are big holes that you have to kick it into, and it's good fun. But also you can go on the official foot golf website, and there's this video of like the foot golf champion showing off, and it's laughable because he's like wearing football boots and doing it all and like taking it all so seriously. Yeah.
Great. It's nice that people enjoy things.
It is. Yeah, I think I love seeing that other people are passionate about things, and that's one thing that this film really did well.
Yeah.
And they weren't all dicks about it, and often, as mentioned in these communities, people can be dicks about it.
I think that is maybe because Felix is such a good guy, and it seems like the community's sort of built around him in some ways.
Yeah.
And because he's sort of magnanimous and just a nice guy.
Oh.
I imagine he's had quite a big influence on people.
He does seem to be very influential in the community, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great.
Oh, could be. He was lovely.
He was just lovely.
I loved Felix.
I might email him. Maybe I'll tweet him. I'll ask him to marry me.
I think you should.
Who knows?
Yeah.
He might fly over from Melbourne.
I think he'd have to wait a while.
Oh, yeah.
Given the...
No, you could do it long distance.
We could do it long distance.
No.
Then we get more time to cube.
Oh, Fernando's not happy.
No, I hate long distance relationships. I think that he should go to Melbourne.
Okay.
Yeah. Fernando has spoken.
No choice, Laura.
I'll go to Melbourne then.
You can
Much
stay
nicer
with
weather
my
down
family
there.
if you want.
Oh, cool. Great.
Yeah. Got a bedroom. You can...
Off I go.
Yeah.
We'll always remember that the very moment that Laura decided to emigrate and begin her life as a speed cuber's wife.
I'll be like the wife in Dark Waters, won't I, eventually? I'll start off supportive and then I'll be like, so your son started bloody violin today, but you wouldn't know. You're just too
All
busy
you
cubing.
care about is that goddamn cube. Oh, that's much better. I was thinking of it like footballers' wives, where they'd just be, I don't even know what that is, just be awful generally.
Like a trophy wife.
Yeah.
I'll just get loads of like plastic surgery. Turn up at all of his competitions. Just jeer. I don't really know much about footballers' wives. I think that might have been a bit sexist, but never mind. I'm sure they're lovely, well-rounded people.
I think some of them are.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. there was that reality TV show like 20 years ago, wasn't there? Which was probably overdone.
That was a drama, Footballers' Wives.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, shows I don't know much about this.
That was where Chardonnay became the stereotypical name for the wife of a footballer.
Okay.
There's a character called Chardonnay.
Oh.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where were we?
Anyway. Yeah, Felix and Max, what a lovely relationship they had also.
Yeah, what a great pair.
Oh.
And yeah, with a rivalry, it could have gone really wrong, but
a lot of the tears came from the end when they both lost, but they were just they were so kind about it to each other.
And Max is saying, but it's okay, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, yes, it really is okay.
And Felix was so good with him, wasn't he? Because he was obviously saw himself as being a bit responsible and needing to look after Max a bit.
Mm.
And that was so sweet.
Oh, because Felix was heartbroken as well. There was so much going on for him. It was his home games, and he broke down to the camera later on, and there was obviously so much emotion involved in that. But he saw his responsibility was keeping Max straight.
When he broke down to the camera, that's when I could have cried.
Yeah,
it was just so genuine, and he was so innocent in that moment.
He just loves to cube.
And you can see how it's so much more than solving a Rubik's Cube to them.
Yeah.
It's the whole community that they've helped build, and all of these friends that they see at these tournaments. And especially for teenagers, stuff like that just defines your life almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Felix is still young, isn't he? He's just a bairn.
How young is he? Because I want to know that before we get married.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you'll find out.
Well, he's got a job in finance, right?
Okay, can't be that young then.
Yeah, early 20s, I suppose. Well, he's got responsibilities now. He doesn't cube like he used to. He's going to have to hang up his Rubik's Cube one of these days.
I'm looking him up now. Felix Zemdegs.
Mm-mm.
Oh, no, he's not that young. He's 24.
That's quite young.
Well, he looks young.
He's only 24?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What?
I mean,
I was going to guess he was like 19.
Oh, no.
Just by the look of him.
Now.
That's all right.
I'm a cougar.
I don't think you can be a cougar if you're in your 20s.
Yeah, it's true. I am only in my mid-20s.
You're 27, right?
Mid-20s, yes.
So if he's 24, he's only 3 years younger than you.
Well, I'm going to be 28 tomorrow, so...
I think 4 years is still acceptable.
Yeah, Michael's 3 years younger than me.
That's all right. Still, 24 is like...
Claire and I were 19 and 22.
10 years younger than you is still acceptable.
That's fine. Yeah, it's all fine, isn't it? It doesn't matter, really.
Yeah. It's all fine. Don't you give up on your Australian Dreamboat Speed Cube champion. You get in touch.
Yeah. It's hard to be someone like that because you'd never know if they just loved you because of the cube.
Oh no.
I don't think it's a problem for him anymore because he's not really got it anymore. He's lost it, so it's got to be for him.
He's like Andy Murray. He's just shot at them.
Might as well just retire now.
Yeah,
what were you going to say, Glenn?
Oh, no, I just remembered we were talking about footballers' wives, and I had a really absurd thought that when we were talking about Laura getting plastic surgery, he'd maybe just as time went on, subtly suggest that maybe the plastic surgery should be in one of 6 bright colours and have particularly sharp corners. Be sort of shaped.
Oh, this has gone in a whole new direction. Is he in love with the cube?
I think so. I think in my weird imagined joke he is.
Maybe so.
I've got to dress as one in our saucy sex games.
Solve this. Unscramble me, baby.
Unscramble me, yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, sorry, Felix.
Oh, I know. He's so innocent.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Felix. It was just a silly joke.
Does anyone feel a bit... Because they told us he's working in finance in Melbourne now.
Uh-huh.
Anyone else feel a bit sad when they heard that?
No.
A little bit.
Not you, Fernando?
Why would you feel sad?
Because finance is death of dreams.
Yeah. Well said.
I do not know. It feels like it's perhaps... No, I don't know, because it's just something that I wouldn't feel sad. As in, I would feel strange someone feeling sad for me being doing as in mathematics, and they'll be, oh, why are you doing mathematics instead of flying a kite or surfing? Or why are you in an office and not just surfing all the time? That just being inside a building all the time sounds so sad. I think that we all have like different interests. And,
yeah. Is he interested in finance?
Surely you agree that it would be better to be surfing all the time.
I think that you can do both, and you can find both interesting.
No, that's capitalism. It's got you, my friend.
I mean, your example, Fernando. You're talking about mathematics, which is a creative thing. It's interesting. It's tugging at the heart of what makes the universe. Whereas finance is a bit like, he's not going to be doing anything creative or interesting.
They didn't say what he did.
Is he?
Yeah, and I think that there's something called something with an M.
Maths.
No, madrigal theory. It's just some branch of mathematics.
No,
that as in, I'm sure that there are some very. I think that several branches of pure mathematics directly relate to finance, so he could be doing that. He could be doing a very pure math side of finance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like John Nash defining the economy in terms of game theory and stuff.
I don't. Maybe. My understanding is that John Nash didn't really do much for economics. So, no, I'm going to say no.
Oh, am I thinking of the wrong person?
No, I mean, I guess that John Nash is indeed credited with, I guess, doing some kind of game theory for economics. But I don't think that game theory is as transcendental to economics as certain other branches of mathematics are to finance.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think it's that word finance. That's not economics. It's not a field of study. It sounded like he's just working in a bank or
I feel like you've fallen for
playing the
trap,
stock market. Yeah?
Yeah, I feel like that was deliberate. Well, maybe not deliberate, but it made it sound like he'd like given in on his dream and just taken a job in finance. And by making it so banal sounding, it did make it seem like he'd just like given up on life.
Yeah. Whereas maybe he's part of a vibrant startup that's going to change the way the world works or something.
Yeah, what does working in finance mean, I think?
Financially. Yeah.
To be fair, Rory really liked being an accountant because he said it was like solving puzzles, like Sudoku puzzles with maths involved and working things out.
Okay.
But I think he was lying, so there's that.
Yeah. Ah, tricky. Yeah, maybe it was something. It sounded like he was an accountant.
It wasn't necessarily an actuary.
Could be interesting, but yeah, maybe accountant. I mean, clearly we need people to do accountancy and stuff. It's just famously uninteresting. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it is like doing Sudokus or like solving Rubik's cubes.
I can't believe I didn't think of that example.
Wow.
It's like a puzzle of some kind of puzzle, Sudoku.
I'm imagining squares. There are 3 squares by 3 squares, making a bigger square. I'm going to set them beside other squares on a flat plane.
It's like that thing where you slide that thing around and you've got one space. You know that puzzle?
Yeah, the 8 puzzle.
The tile puzzles. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that. That's what accountancy's like.
Do you think they have a world championship in tile sliding puzzles?
I bet they do.
Yeah. Everyone's just got a really shit picture of a parrot at the end.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, parrot is one of the categories.
Yeah.
Alphabet is another one.
Everyone only cares about the parrot.
Yeah, wow, that's the classic, isn't it? That's the original. Do you know, here's another example. I was watching a YouTube video the other day. It was about 20 minutes long, and it was called The Miracle Sudoku. And it was a guy who live streams himself doing Sudoku puzzles.
Mm.
And, I mean, that in itself is an example of this kind of stuff I'm talking about. These people just communities and worlds unto themselves. But yeah, this guy had been sent a puzzle by a sort of half fan, half friend, and told to just do this one live, don't look at it in advance. And he did it. It was Sudoku with a couple of extra rules that you had to apply. And he seemed to be almost brought to tears by how good a puzzle it was. He started by saying, like, no, I'm never going to be able to do this. Oh, hang on, you can do that, though, can't you? Yeah, no, I'll never be able to do more than the ones. But actually, that rule means there are 2s. And as he was going through it, you just heard him saying, no. Oh my goodness. This is mad. This is ridiculous. And by the end, he was just saying, well, that is quite simply the most sublime work of genius I've ever come across. Thank you so much. For it was beautiful to see. So yeah, I guess Sudoku is a good comparison. Anyway, yes, but perhaps now that he's working in finance, even if that is something like accountancy, he is doing what he loves doing, which is solving little puzzles again and again and again, 5 minutes at a time for the rest of his life.
6 seconds.
6 seconds at a time for the rest of his life. Because, Rubik's Cubes, that's not a big creative thing, is it? That's a small puzzle that you learn to do really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Wait,
nice.
Surely the next step would be to define, which I think that it has been characterized, the group acting on the permutations of the Rubik's Cube, and then showing which permutations solve as in return the Rubik's Cube to the identity permutation.
Yeah. Well, this is. Have you ever done that in GAP?
No.
You can define the group that defines the Rubik's Cube really easily, and it's quite a good demonstration of computational mathematics because you can type this group in, and it has, well, the generators it has there are 6 faces. You can turn each one a quarter clockwise. So there are just 6 generators for this group. And then when you type it into Gap can immediately tell you, oh, this group has size, however many billion or whatever it is. It can quickly compute the size of this thing. It's a really great application of group theory, and people who know a lot more about this than I do have done a lot of work on how to return a cube to how to return a cube to the identity, which is solving it. And I think only quite recently, like maybe only 5 years ago, they discovered the upper bound on how hard a Rubik's Cube can be, which is 20 moves.
Oh, I remember that. That was in New Scientist when I used to read New Scientist.
Right, okay.
Or maybe it was more recent than that. Maybe it was on BBC Science News or something.
Yeah. No, it got quite famous at the time.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it turns out the no Rubik's Cube combination can ever be harder than 20 moves.
Oh, really?
Well, that's disappointing, which means that I will never solve the Rubik's Cube now.
Well, because it's already been done, who cares?
No, because it's just too simple.
It's too easy.
Yeah, piece of piss, really. But yeah, it's a really interesting thing to look into mathematically. So I'm sure there's other things you could learn.
The tile puzzle.
Yeah, exactly. The parrot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, I wrote a solver for those puzzles. It's on GitHub now. I was playing this Nintendo DS game called Professor Layton, and it has these block sliding puzzles. And I've just always been shit at that. I don't think I've ever done the tile puzzles. I don't think I've ever
to do them for Michael.
Actually solved that one. Yeah. So I wrote a piece of code to compute them and to find the shortest possible route where you move the fewest number of tiles in order to complete it, and I did it.
Congratulations!
Yeah, I was really pleased with myself.
Yeah.
Well, I can just solve them anyway.
Yes, you can actually do it using your brain, but I need computers. It's all funny.
Code that you managed to write.
Yeah.
You idiot.
Yeah. What a fool.
So yeah, we're off topic, aren't we?
Oh, you know what amazed me?
Yeah,
the commentators in the well, you're about to find out. The commentators at the competition who were like, "Oh, that's a bad start." How do you know that? It's been 2 seconds. He's just twisting it.
It's just as fucked up as it was a second.
They can somehow see, can't they?
It's like cricket though, isn't it? People watching that, and there's just there are 7 or 8 individual numbers on the screen, and someone will glance at it and go, "Oh, it's looking bad for Pakistan." And you're like, what? No,
but then once you tune into it, you kind of start to get it, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't believe it. It's all a conspiracy. They are all using those magic cubes. Even the commentators are in on it.
Yeah, I think it's like WWE wrestling. The whole thing's staged in advance.
Yeah.
So like, right, you're gonna do really badly the first 2 souls, and then you're gonna really pull it out in the third one, and then you're gonna hit someone with a chair.
But it would be like a soap as well, so all the backstage action would be going on, and the Vince McMahon of Rubik's Cube, Mr. Rubik, would appear.
Does anyone know why they had like a warm-up cube, didn't they?
Yeah, just to keep your fingers.
Oh.
And they were like frantically playing with this cube before they revealed the first one, right?
I thought it was because they couldn't bear to be parted from the cubes. Like they all were just so obsessed that they had a spare cube that they just played with in between.
There's probably something in that. But I think it was just like warming your fingers up, like doing keep you at peace before the start of a football match.
Yeah, get into the zone. I think I was surprised that they were just doing that up to the moment that it was revealed.
Yeah.
Maybe it calms them as well. Maybe it's like a nerve thing.
I did love in that moment in the green room where they're like, now we're going to see inside the green room before they go on stage, and it's just 20 people just playing with Rubik's cubes, staring at them and not talking to each other. That was great.
I did wonder when they were just messing around in these Rubik's cubes what they were doing. So because surely you can't, once you're that good, you can't like set your own puzzle because you would just remember what moves you'd done.
Oh.
Why are they? Yeah, are they just playing with them? You can solve them in 6 seconds.
Yeah, are you just solving it 10 times a minute forever? I don't know. Were they just going through each of the algorithms and not really caring about the positions of the colours? Just practicing.
Yeah, maybe they were practicing the different movements that you have to do. Wow.
Well.
As well, strange.
Should we talk about Max?
Yeah,
we haven't talked about Max very much.
Oh, Max.
I really liked Max.
He was lovely, yeah.
He did.
And his parents were lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, good parents, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The one thing is, I did notice, I think it's a well-recognised thing that with autistic people, that parents and people around them do desperately want them to just fit in, and like it's more based around like the social expectations of like being able to speak and mimic and like interact with people in a quote normal way, that it ends up putting, it's not the best thing for the autistic person. But I don't know, Max seemed very happy.
Like it puts stress on them to act in a certain way.
Not that it puts stress, just it creates a kind of norm. And then if they sit outside the norm where they, you're forcing them to be verbal, you force them to touch people and interact with people in what you see as a normal way. Because that's what we as a society have decided is normal behaviour.
Yeah.
That it's,
I don't feel like they were forcing him though, which I liked. I think they were
I don't at all. I think
him.
they were, definitely. I just got that at the beginning when they were saying that they like broke down in tears because they thought they're not going to have the child that they wanted, and I felt sort of sorry for him. But they did genuinely seem to adapt and knew him so well, and it was a really nice
that's right.
documentary.
Yeah,
I think they if they were encouraging him to form social relations and speak to people, that is a good thing to encourage anyone to do.
we are a social species, aren't we?
Yeah.
So if
I suppose I don't know about those universals, I don't. I just feel like we can say that, but then we are trying to apply this norm still. And some people just, I'm not saying like it's a total isolation or versus social, but it's a way of being social. And what they were trying to do was get him to be social in a way that was accepted. And, like they were overjoyed that he was mimicking the person on the podium when really it shouldn't matter.
Well, I think they were overjoyed about that just because it showed that he was doing something social at all.
So I think that, so this is a generalisation, but as a species, we do overall thrive on interaction with others, and creating the opportunity for someone to be able to learn how to form bonds with other humans is a good thing for them to give him the chance to do. I don't think you could... I think it would be unhealthy to force him, but I think giving him the opportunity to learn those skills will potentially make him happier in the long run, because that will be an aspect of human life and what it is to function as a human that can make life easier. I think.
That sounds right.
And, lack of social contact can be rubbish.
No, sure, I agree with that. Yeah, it's all about nurturing bonds and etc.
Stuff.
Which I think they did a good job with, and he did a good job with as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seemed so, like, maybe mature is not the right word, but just, like, emotionally capable for someone that age. Just even just the process of saying, oh, well, it's okay that I lost. Like, I was 30 before I could process that thought. And yeah, it's good to see him learning that at a young age. And I think, he's great. He just seemed really nice. Everyone was so nice.
Yeah, he was so sweet. It was great how much he looked up to Felix. Aww. And they said again and again, didn't they? Like, and guess what? You're going to see Felix later. Isn't that going to be great? And he was so excited about it.
Maybe the next step is that Max will also become a person that works for finance.
Maybe.
I think I was hoping that they'd become like an artist, like a really crazy artist, both of them, and just make these sublime paintings that don't make any sense or something. And do something amazingly creative. But I get that's not what a Rubik's Cube is it?
Why are you so determined that they should be doing creative things? Why these people in particular?
I think just because they're amazing, and I want amazing people to, you sort of want to get the best out of them somehow. Like
you want them to become Banksy.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm thinking, like, what if...
Just finding square buildings.
Put the red on that side and white on that side. Yeah.
Oh, that was good, wasn't it? When they were commentating and saying, "Oh, and he's gone for the blue."
Yeah.
Yes. What are you talking
about? I guess the problem they have there is that they have 6 seconds to commentate, right? And there's essentially nothing to say except he's solving it. He's solved it. And it takes that long for them to do it. So.
But they did manage something. It'd been like 0.01 seconds. They were like, he's fucked that up. Yeah.
I guess that's what they can say, isn't it? Oh yeah, he's gone for the blue side. That's a bit pointless.
Well, I think it was like, what side are they looking at, or what side's on top? Because presumably the algorithms are based on, like, you hold it in one direction and then perform the algorithms. But it's just random what colour happens to be on top. That was good. I like that.
Yeah. I think those are all my thoughts.
Yeah, I would never have watched that. So thank you for suggesting it, Fernando. Because
I'm glad that we all liked it.
Yeah. Oh, what did it have in common with Thor Ragnarok?
Oh my goodness. What did it not have in common?
Synth. There was some synth at the end. That was nice.
Was there some synth? Great.
There was, yeah, I picked up some synth.
Yeah.
I guess that Odin died, as in it was time for him to go, in the same way that it is now time for Felix to go.
Yeah.
That's a good point, actually. Odin wasn't alive in this film either.
Mm-hmm.
Nor in Thor Ragnarok.
True. Yeah. No. Very little Odin.
Mm.
And then Thor also isn't the king of Asgard in the end, so neither Odin nor Thor.
Oh, it was about fallen heroes, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
There's I was a little worried with the fallen hero thing when it became clear that they had started filming 2 months before the event, and then neither of them finished in the top 3.
Yeah.
And I did think, are they now wishing they'd filmed someone else for the last 2 months? Did they pick the 2 people most likely to do well? And now they're thinking, oh fuck, did we have a plan B reel?
Why did no one tell me about Philip?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this guy Philip, and why is no one filming him?
Who the fuck is Philip? But they justified it well in the end by saying shortly after this, Max took the record back from Felix, and nobody except those two has held it for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
They've just been trading it between them.
Yeah.
And that's an indication that they really were the two to follow.
And that is the only competition that matters.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
3x3. And also Max won, 5 out of the 7 categories or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they didn't get it too far wrong.
Yeah,
Again,
he did well.
Shouldn't think about hanging up his Rubik's Cube quite yet.
No, exactly.
Shouldn't dismantle it yet. That's what you do with them when they're done, isn't it?
I think you just have to
the very last thing you do.
colour all the sides in the same colour.
And it'll be sold forever.
Good film.
Shall I play the music? Anyone?
Yep. No, those were all my thoughts. Did you have any last thoughts, Fernando?
Is there anything we haven't discussed that we should have?
Symbolism?
No, I think.
Oh shit, yeah, symbolism.
I don't think there can be symbolism in something that's real.
Oh, was it real?
That is... I guess the Rubik's Cube symbolised the coming of Christ.
Oh, yeah.
That's true, it did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
Felix fell so that Max could have life.
Wow.
And Philip's got his bloody
Fucking
30
Judas.
pieces of silver, hasn't he? Yeah. Philip. Hate that guy.
Oh, they should have just made him a fucking villain. I know it's about a nice community, but really demonise Philip. We all hated him anyway.
Close-up view of him from just below, so he looks
really
extra
sinister
evil.
music.
Yeah.
He took a beat before he celebrated because he felt bad for Max, and then he thought, "Oh, wait a minute, I won," and then started celebrating.
Fucking Philip.
Good guy. Cool. I'm done.
Right, that really is everything,
It's
I
it.
think. Yeah. Here we go.
Close enough.
Fuck.
Shit.
I've got to take it off my CV now. 3, 2, 1.
Scissors. Bugger. Do it again.
3, 2, 1.
Rock.
Scissors.
Yes.
Damn it.
I got it. And I
Nice.
think I had chosen a film.
Ooh.
Whoa.
And I've got it noted down here. Yes. My choice is the film Shaft.
Shaft.
From 1971.
Ah.
Shaft.
The 1971 version of Shaft.